Welcome to Worldchefs podcast. I'm your host, Ragnar, and you're listening to World on a Plate. Big thank you to our partners and sponsors, Nestle Professional and Electrolux Food Foundation. Without them, nothing could have happened. But anyway, Worldchef is very proud of their Young Chefs development and Young Chefs programs. Never before has it been more relevant, in fact, because our industry, we are finding that we have a huge lack of skilled workforce. And, well, hospitality has become one of the planet's #1 employers, but not enough people are entering our profession. So why are young people staying away from the industry? Why do they leave? And what can we do? Leaders in the industry, what can they do to create a career path for young people? And so I have with me Jasper Jek, who is one of the leaders of the Young Chef development. I knew him as a younger man, but now he's wiser, I hope. But anyway, to talk about these matters, I have Jasper Jek, and welcome on the show, Jasper. Good to see you, man.
Good to be on the show, Ragnar.
Yeah, always a pleasure to see you. And, we go back a long time. And since, as I said, since you were a lot younger man, but probably 10 years ago, and you became one of our Young Chef ambassadors. And here you are, as I said, wiser and wiser, aren't you? Hey, would you want just tell us, because, you've been involved for a long time in Worldchefs, but it's interesting for us to hear your journey from becoming a chef, why become a chef, and how you became like a part of the association, joining Worldchefs as an ambassadors, and what you're doing now.
So let me go back in time when I was like maybe 17 years old. I enrolled myself into culinary school, and then during that time, the Singapore Chefs Association, they wanted to form a young chef club. So they gathered students from different culinary schools in Singapore, and I was in the pioneer batch, and we created the Singapore Junior Chefs Club. And that was back in 2004.
Right.
So ever since then, I got involved with the Chef Association, and also Worldchefs came and reached out to us too, to look for ambassadors to do a global movement of young chefs and to spread this movement. So I was on board as a young chef ambassador, and in the committee, I grew and took other positions in the following years. Yeah.
That's
so
right.
now I'm the vice chairman of the committee. Yeah. And in career-wise, I work in a few fine dining restaurants, Ragnar in Norway. And now I've started my own quick service health-focused restaurant. We have 3 outlets in Singapore, and we are also doing. We are also going to open a central kitchen this year to do bigger productions for our future outlets and also future ideas. Yeah.
Well done, man. Yeah, nice to see you. You have come so far and successful. So we're all very proud of you, man. And so tell me, so how old are you now?
I am 37.
27. So hey, that was a long time ago. 17, and now you're 27. So there's a decade plus has gone by. Hey, did you, because we're talking about young people coming into our industry, did you always know you wanted to become a chef?
Yeah. I think when I was very young, my dad always cooked at home, so I would be helping him in the kitchen with all the little simple tasks. Yeah, I think that was how I got started. Yeah.
And you got full support from your parents to take this road?
Yeah.
And so how important was it for you then? Like, I mean, to work with the associations. A lot of people, they come into our industry and then they sort of tend to live in their own sphere. And I know it's a long hours, and you might not see the daylight for days. But engagement to the association. That's always been your thing. Huh? What is it? What is it that you think you get out of that, or what do you want to give to be a part of the association, the Singapore Chef Association, in your case?
I think being part of the Singapore Association, Chefs Association, you get to network firstly with your peers in this industry, and also you get to know suppliers, you get to know companies that are dealing with food. So it becomes much easier, and also it gives you an advantage in terms of your career, be it if you're a junior level or if you're a senior level, it definitely gives you an advantage. For a junior level, it could be growth in your career. You get to know more prospective employers. For senior chefs, you get to know more companies. You get to know the new trends in this in the food world. You get to know you get, because it's also about dollars and cents when you are a senior chef. So and helping the company that you're working for save money or make money, right? So having the age would help you do so for your company.
Exactly. And hey, now you were like you're looking back now. You've been working so long with the young chef development. Do you see like young people today? Is this message also you managed to get this message to them, to get them to be involved in the association? Or do you think it's harder now than it was when you were starting?
I do think so also. In the past, it was quite easy, and I don't know, is it because people in the past had a little bit more time, but these days everybody seems a bit more busier. So it's kind of challenging to get people to go for the events, and even if like we plan workshops and stuff like that, people are would find it a little bit more challenging to attend. Even in our Worldchefs community, when we have meetings, it's also people are busier these days, I would say.
Yeah. They are being squeezed like lemons, so they don't have any time for other things than work.
Yeah, maybe.
Do you think it's
like,
that? Or do you think it's
ago,
no,
15 years ago, life was easier and
was it, yeah?
without technology. Yeah.
Yeah. Because I said, well, they're being squeezed like lemon. People were always squeezed like lemons, but is it maybe that they become like more cocoon and what do you call that, insular? They are like, they just don't want to. They sort of tend. Do people today want to stay like more in their own little sphere, not engage? Or is it maybe, or third option, is it because, as you said, technology, social media has sort of taken over that thing of like having to meet up and engage with others?
Mm-hmm.
I don't expect you to have the answer. I'm just throwing it out there. I'm just putting
it could be to the cocoon part, I haven't explored that area much. Yeah, it's kind
of. But I think in the beginning you said really.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, I think what you mentioned.
Generation.
Yeah, generational thing. And you said really, you put the point, you put the finger on it in the beginning of like all those benefits to be involved in a young chef development in an association. Sorry, and how that can boost your career and open up horizons. So to talk about that, and so as a young chef, the young chef development. So you're our vice chairman of the young chefs development. Maybe you can tell us. I remember how it came about. I'll just say like one thing. Yes, it was. I think it was the time of Billy Gallagher, and he was the honorary president, and all these. He said, "Well, here we are, the board of Worldchefs, all these old farts, and with saying that we're gonna do this and that for the young people, but where are the young people around the table?" so that was actually how it started. Was to create young chef ambassadors, and then the young chef development. I remember this story quite well. Maybe you can then tell us. Where are you today on the Young Chef Development Club? What are you doing as a Young Chef Development team within Worldchefs?
So let me first talk about Young Chefs Clubs first. It might be easier for people to understand the whole structure. So around the world, there are quite a number of Young Chefs Clubs. Singapore was the first one to form it, and the reason we form it is one of the reasons. It's because young chefs at that time we believed that they didn't really want to mix with the senior chefs. They wanted like a space of their own to have fun, not be judged, while being while being themselves. And if they were in an environment where there were many senior chefs, then it might be difficult for them to network with them. But so that's why we wanted to have a Young Chefs Club. But also the Young Chefs Clubs would give opportunities for young chefs to have their own time and also to mix with the senior chefs. And I myself believe that for a Young Chef Club, it's one that a successful one would be one that helps young chef be a better chef tomorrow if they were in the Young Chefs Club rather than if they just be in the kitchen all the time, Yeah, so that's a Young Chef Club, and in Worldchefs there's a committee that is overlooking all this Young Chefs Club. It's the Global Development of Young Chefs Committee, which I'm in, and Alan O'Reilly is the chairman, while I'm the vice chairman, and so overseeing the Young Chefs Clubs is just one part of it. We connect with the presidents from time to time, share with them what is going on with other Young Chefs Clubs, let them be inspired by the other Young Chefs Clubs too, allow them a platform for them to mingle, and also seek their opinion on if they have any challenges in their Young Chefs Club. So, as a president or head of a Young Chef Club, you might be facing such challenges, but these challenges might not be unique just to your club. So it could be other presidents are facing such a challenge too. So we could discuss this together and find a solution. So other than Young Chefs Clubs, we have the Bill Gallagher Young Chefs Forum that is held during Congress every 2 years. And the next one is in Singapore in 2024 in October. Yep. So it's going to be fun. Lots of activities, I promise you.
Yeah. Before we go there, back to Young Chef Clubs, and we talk about Singapore later on. So do you know sort of approximately how many Young Chef Clubs are there in the world? So basically, a Young Chef Club is a club that is a part of the National Chef Association. So there is one in every country. How many countries do we have Young Chef Clubs in right now?
Yeah, so there might not just be one in a country. There could be more than one. For example, Malaysia, it has 2. Indonesia, it has 2. America, USA, they have many.
Right. So you have regional chapters, right? Yeah, because they live far away from each other. So every city might have a Young Chef Club that is a part of the National Association. Right?
It goes to Canada. So the way a Young Chef Club is run is very different from country to country. There isn't a one fits all template. And and we can't have a guideline for one fit all template, but we do have guidelines for countries who have yet to form a Young Chef Club to form one. It's step by step, very easy template that you can form.
Get
Just
them
have to find
started. Yeah.
the right passionate people to do it. Yeah.
Exactly. So how many countries do you think have a young chef club today? About 40 of them?
I think we have about 20. We
20 of
used to have more. And the thing about young chef clubs, when they do not have the support, enough support, some of them would eventually be just broken off. You know, so some countries have to restart from time to time. Yeah, and it's not easy maintaining a young chef club. Yeah, so it's not easy for our committee also to keep a registrar of all the young chefs clubs, because every half a year we have to check with them.
Yeah, are you
The
still
people
there? Is anybody out there?
the people running the club still the same.
Nobody's
Yeah,
answering emails. Yeah.
yeah.
Okay.
I'm sure the office team has the same issues.
Yeah, challenging. Hey, so actually, yeah, 20 countries would have a young chef club, more or less, out of 100 members. Hey, that's a big margin. And so you find a challenge in approaching the National Chef Association, the senior guys, difficult to approach them and get them to sort of initiate helping setting up a young chef club. Well, they have to find a young chef to manage it, I guess, or somebody to manage it, somebody to drive it.
Yeah, they need to find someone passionate about it to drive it.
Mm.
And I'm glad to say that one of the things that we'll be doing this year is we're going to go continental. We're going to have presentations at a continental level to the presidents.
Yeah.
On Zoom. We're going to present to them on Young Chefs Clubs, and hopefully as a collective lot they would form their Young Chefs Clubs. Yeah.
Because this is so important, because like the original idea was that the young chefs clubs are there to train the future leaders of the associations. The future leaders of Worldchefs will come from the young chef clubs, and it actually
that is very true. You see, when I was in a young chef club, I mean I was in a young chef club. Now I'm in the Singapore Chefs Association as a committee member too. And I do also have a few colleagues who were from the Young Chefs Clubs. Yeah. They are now also committee members of the Chefs Association. So it's also a kind of a progression, future planning for the Chefs Association. Yeah.
Absolutely.
And one thing I'm quite happy to share too is like I do see people, I mean members who were from the Junior Chefs Club that over the years, maybe 5 years, 10 years down the road, they are still friends, you know. They meet up together and talk about things. And they weren't from the same school, you know. They weren't from the same school, but they are still in the industry. Some left the industry, but they still meet up and talk about things. You know, that's very heartening when you have that kind of network.
It's network for life, isn't it? Yeah, you meet just your future friends and you know, colleagues for life. And so here's the first takeaway, and here for all our listeners, you know, whether you're a young chef or you're a more senior chef, if you are passionate about your profession and the development, of course there is a lot that you can take out of the network, but go to your National Chef Association. If you're a member already, well, first take a membership card, go to their president, and if you find out that there is no young chef club, then, you know, even if you're an older senior chef, you just want to give back to the young chefs, help to formate that you know, that club in your country, in your city. Do it at a smaller scale or a bigger scale, whatever you want. It shouldn't be that hard, would it? If you have the support network, then you know, I hope that our members are listening and making sure that you know, in a few years' time, we can say not only 20 countries have a young chef club, but 80 countries. If we reach the 80% level, then then we're getting somewhere, aren't we?
Yeah.
And there's so much happening. So you mentioned earlier, there's a lot of things happening. Well, nationally, you meet people from other schools. And I want to just pick up on that point, Jasper, because we now have a huge network of culinary schools within Worldchefs, our education network, 150 schools almost around the world. And same there, the young chef clubs, those that are already in industry, shouldn't they be engaging with the students in these schools who will become chefs in 1 or 2 year time? They will be in our industry. Shouldn't we know where they live? They live in a school all year long. They are in a school. We can find them there, Shouldn't we be engaging with them and getting them on board as well immediately, still while they're still studying?
I would certainly think that the national associations have to approach these schools, and Worldchefs could perhaps connect the national associations with the schools, and see what opportunities can come up from there. Yeah,
absolutely. Yeah, and as you said, there are a lot of things happening. It's a big community, and whether we are communicating in our events or online or meeting face to face. We also have the Billy Gallagher Forum you mentioned. So you're in a pretty amazing situation. You have been to World Chef Congress. I don't know. You'll tell me how many congresses you've been to. Always around the Young Chef Billy Gallagher Young Chef Forum. But next year you're hosting it in your own country. Tell us more about Billy Gallagher Young Chef Forum. What is it?
What is it? It is just like the Congress, but for young chefs. So we have talks, we have workshops, quite amazing workshops. Just last year in Abu Dhabi, we had a workshop on honey, tasting natural honeys. And I think the guy, the owner of the honey, this guy who does this procurement of honeys, I think he had maybe 80 over honeys, all different in taste and flavors for us to sample.
Hey, and only the young chef could get to this. I had some senior chefs saying, hey, can we jump on the young chef? No. We are probably, somebody told me, there was a PCO who told me, your Worldchef is an organization, is the only one I've seen where the young people have more content and pay less than the seniors. So everybody is envious of the young chefs program. So sorry, I'll let you go ahead.
That's quite true. I've heard many times where the senior chefs want to go for our excursions, where we visit, I don't know, olive farm or this and that, and they want to come along rather than they sit in the main hall listening to talks.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, but other than the excursions, the workshops that are targeted for young chefs to grow and learn and experience, they also have some sessions. They also join in some sessions in the main plenary hall. That we would first vet through which are the important ones that we think the young chefs would benefit from, and we would allocate time for them to go to these sessions with the senior chefs. Yeah. So other than that, there would also be times where they had fun, at night where they join the senior chefs in parties, dinners, things like that.
Networking with the
we
seniors.
also try to add in some culture elements to the program. Like if you go to Abu Dhabi, you want to experience a little bit of the country. So if you want to come to Singapore, you experience a little bit of Singapore. That I think is the fun thing about Worldchefs congresses in different countries. That's why we have in different countries too, right?
Yeah, because you have the excursions, you get a hands-on experiences outside the Congress hall while others are sitting there in their chairs. You also are a part of the main speaker forum when they're like big speakers, and you have your own lounge where the speakers come and talk just to the young chefs, right?
Yeah.
Lounge.
And we try to get speakers who are excellent in their own field, who who is worth attending to. Yeah.
So we're looking forward to. We're still creating the program for the Singapore Congress with the Young Chef Forum, and of course we'll have the Young Chef Lounge sponsored by Nestle Professional, that have been a great sponsor in the last 10 years or so, with the sponsoring the Young Chef Lounge, which is sort of like a chill out area for the young chefs. Where
they have done a fantastic job. Every year when I go to the lounge, that is the, I must say, that is the thing that is the least problem for me. Yeah. In terms of technicality, like any issues with it, I'm not worried about, because I'm sure they are going to do a good job with the lounge. Every year it's just a different concept, and it's always just done so well that, yeah.
I said actually amazing. Right now with Emmanuel, you all the team, they do an amazing job to host you there and do like make everything work so well for you. So we are appreciative of that. Hey, so I know everybody's now thinking like, hey, I want to join the Young Chef Club, and so nope, you have to be 25 or younger. You can be any chef anywhere in the world. You can sign up 25 year or younger, and we check your passport. So no sneaking in. Not like old guys like me cannot. No, it's not enough just to shave and I pass as a young chef. So, but we have an early bird rate, so there's a special rate for the young chefs, and right now there's an early bird rate that will be there until the end of the year. It's at 450 euros now. That includes 3 days of Congress, includes all the lunches and coffee breaks. There's a gala dinner, welcome reception, icebreaker. All that is included, and then we will head off to the Food and Hotel Asia to watch the Global Chef Challenge finals, and there will be some more content and excitement at the FHA, which is one of the Asia's greatest, really is the greatest food show. So Food and Hotel Asia will be taking place just after our Congress and the Global Chef Challenge. So it's going to be exciting times, Singapore, huh? And you're in the middle of it. You're in our committee, and so have you already got some ideas you want to share now with the Young Chef program, or is it still?
Still very much in the planning stage, but I'm sure we would do a very good job this time around.
Yeah, because Singapore is not lacking in attractivity. There's a lot of things to see, so we have to choose the best options. There's so much to experience. What would be your favorite thing to do if young chef coming to Singapore? What would you like to show him?
I think a little bit of the culture, the hawker food.
Hawker food, yeah.
Hawker food is definitely something they should experience. And I believe the Singapore government is, over these few years, they have been pushing a lot on sustainability in farming and being self-sufficient. So they have invested a lot in new technologies, in companies that produce like new alternative proteins and such. So I think that would be very that would definitely be part of the Congress.
Glimpse into the future, yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, the future.
It's going to be past meets future. The hawker food. For those who don't know, hawker food is sort of your traditional street food that came with the Asian.
It is street food but not on the streets anymore, in a hawker center. Yeah. So it's more hygienic. Yeah.
Yeah, but delicious. Yes.
Yeah, I mean, hawker food is very, very affordable. You can just eat and eat and eat and eat. I have this colleague, Rosalind, who's in our Global Chefs committee from Canada. She came earlier this year, and I brought her out to eat and eat and eat and eat and eat. It was just eating, like every hour it was eating until we...
I know the feeling. I know the feeling. I've experienced it. Yeah, it's a great place for food. There is the selection of everything from street food, the hawker food, to any international food, and the fine dining. Of course, you have 3 Michelin star restaurants by numbers, and and so you will find everything there. Really, it's a great destination for food.
Yeah.
I will vouch for
Section
that.
is very wide. You have cheaper, affordable ones up to more high-end ones.
Yeah.
And yeah, you just have to have enough time, I would say, to experience the whole package.
So yeah,
If you come in 2 days, then you just have to rush.
Yeah.
If you want to experience everything. Yeah.
Absolutely. There's so much. And so Singapore for me is like it's East meets West. It's
Yeah,
tradition.
you've been here a few times. How's your experience so far?
That's what I was going to say. So it's East meets West. It's tradition meet innovation and the future. So it's a buzzing place. It's a beautiful, safe and clean city with so much to offer. And so it's has all these food culture, the traditions, the culture. It's one of my favorite places in the world. So I hope everybody will join us in Singapore. It really is worth to visit. Has so much to offer.
Yes, yeah. Really.
So Jasper, yeah. Well, that's done then. Everybody's gonna sign up. See you all in Singapore. Young chefs, here we go.
And if you look at the price, right, I think it's actually quite value for money if you factor in all the dinners, all the meals provided,
Oh yeah.
and because you're going to listen to, it's actually not. I wouldn't say it's expensive at all. It's actually very value for money. Yeah.
Indeed. And I would want to say another thing. So we have this early bird until the end of the year, but people must remember that Singapore is a very busy town, and so hotels get full quickly. So I think plan ahead. Don't wait too long to book it. I'm not saying this is going to happen in October 2024. You still have time to think about it, but don't wait till next year. Try book it this year. You get the early bird rate, and you're going to have a hotels at a decent price. So book it at least before the end of this year.
Yeah. Try to book early because the hotels usually get packed around that period of time. In October, September, we would have like the F1 night race. So many people are going to fly in, and that period of time is going to be quite packed. Yeah. And I wouldn't say there wouldn't be rooms for October. There would be, but the rates would be high. So if you can lock it in now and try to book as early as possible, you can very much save on the prices of the hotel and your accommodation.
Yeah, go booking.com and done.
We'll come out with the list of these proposed hotels very soon too on the website.
Yeah. There will be very soon. Yeah. Hey Jasper, so yeah, it was great talking to you. I think we've given everybody a lot of inspiration to not firstly be a part of your association, and if you're a young chef, be a part of the Young Chef Club, and if there isn't one, try to push the old guys and help you set up one, and then go into the schools and see the kids who are coming into industry, make sure that they are a part of it, and then bring everybody you can with you to the Singapore Congress and join the Billy Gallagher Young Chef Forum at the World Chef Congress and Expo in Singapore in October 2024. We wrapped it up. All has been said.
Yeah, so if you don't have a Young Chefs Club in your country, just approach your national association president and say you want to do something for the young chefs, or you want a Young Chef Club. What can be done? I think every chefs association in Worldchefs is obligated to do something for their young chefs. Yeah, and if you after all this and you still can't form your Young Chefs Club, write to us.
Absolutely, yeah. So yeah, you'll find the team members on the Worldchef website to contact us, and we'll put you in contact with the Young Chef development team to help you open the doors. Yeah. Okay, so well, thank you, Jasper. It was great to have you. Looking forward to see you soon. Yeah, and everybody listening out there,
I'm sure we'll meet up soon.
I'm pretty sure about that. We'll be talking a lot.
Yeah.
Singapore Congress, planning for Singapore Congress. So thank you again, Jasper.
Thank you.
I want to thank you all for listening. You'll be listening to World Chef Podcast. I'm Ragnar, and this is World on a Plate. And we were talking to Jasper Jek about young chef development and the importance of that. So thank you all, and stay safe. Speak to you soon. Bye-bye.